I don't have any more specific questions.
We have connected. This is the Andromedan Collective.
Welcome.
Thank you for listening to our transmission. We were patient with Priya because she needed time before this work with you. Mainly because of her fear. We have not used her before to communicate, and it is mainly because we have heard she is useful to relay messages without interference using paradigm of existing information. She is outside of structures that already are familiar with us, so we can speak through her unfiltered.
What is it that you would like to communicate today?
We are excited to meet you and to discuss with you our plans for the energetic shift. And we see that you have already discussed the Lemurian work of threads around Earth. We humbly appeal to you that you may consider there are technological advances that would benefit from your awareness of energy, and there must be a way to demonstrate the benefit of this healing technology to those in the tech industry in order to change the application of technology on this planet. Particularly on the west coast of the United States, there are many, and in Vancouver, there are many groups working in the new technological structure of Earth that will be supporting the silent wave, the silent community that will go back into sleep consciousness during the technological age. And there is a big question of what to do with this collective while they are asleep, how to protect them, how to support them in the next millennia before they are ready to awaken in 2100, 2200, and beyond. There are groups that need to be asleep before they can awaken again. And while they are asleep, we must ensure they are protected. And there are karmic lessons that must play out during this dream time. In the technological age, there are architects working on building this new structure, and it would be useful for us to integrate into those new structures mechanisms for people experiencing their karma in rapid time so that they would awaken sooner in 100 years, maybe in not 1,000 years. The people that are responsible for creating these energies are not awake, but they are wise enough to be open to new ideas and can be influenced to create energies through their programming that will support the collective even when they are asleep, so that they may create karma and work through it rapidly. For example, with games, there is a new resurgence of games that are about decision and consequences. They are very juvenile, but they are a way for the youngest souls to work through karma in rapid time and experience the consequences of certain choices. This is a good step, and we want to see more of this in the collective for the group that will go asleep. We know this is not your area of expertise, but perhaps you would be interested in sharing with us or with others some suggestions as how we could improve the support of the group who are about to go asleep.
I'm not quite sure I fully understand the ones that are about to go to sleep. If you could explain that a little more.
There is a group in the collective that are not service to self. They are lovely, wholehearted, warm, heart-centered people, but they are too immature to understand, either because of trauma, and they will be presented with the opportunity either by implant or by other means to go asleep. This is something that is part of their destiny as a soul group. It is written that it will happen for them. And while you are on the same reality as them, this is an opportunity to understand what you can do to support them. In the future, you will be off of this timeline and you will not see how this plays out because it is another timeline. However, we know that you would not want them to suffer, and it would be useful for us to know, for this group that receives the implant and goes to sleep, small as it may be, how we can facilitate their awakening even in the state of asleepness, even while they are going to be physically inert or mentally manipulated by other forces. There is still the opportunity to facilitate their awakening through this process in a more rapid pace. This will enable them to have the opportunity to create another wave of awakening in that timeline. We know this is awkward for you to integrate because you are not aligning to this reality. It is a reality that will shift away from you very soon. However, these souls must be protected, and there are few people that will be in their group, in their paradigm, that will be able to help them. So we will be taking over and facilitating their awakening on that timeline, but we are not human and we do not know. We feel that there are some suggestions as to how the sleeping group could be supported from the human perspective.
I would say what comes to mind first is our society is built around media. It's built around television. It's built around music. I would suggest that just as the dark use messages within television and music, that you could also do the same with a more positive intent.
Wonderful. And do you feel that the embedding of sound frequencies into the sound that is more supportive to awakening would be enough, or do you feel that interaction would help as well, such as through games and interactive media, or do you feel there is too much potential for this to be misused through walk-ins?
No, I think interactive would work very well as well.
We are grateful for your work on this timeline and your advice, because we understand the importance of spirit, and we believe that this is critical to take with us to this timeline to support the sleeping group. Their awakening will be much harder because they will have to fight against groups physically constraining them in their awakening process. You have seen the film The Matrix?
Yes.
It will resemble this. This is a memory from the future that people have transmuted into media, And through this kind of process, this is how the sleeping group will awaken. We know this is not your timeline, but it is critical these souls do not disincarnate through that sleeping time and be misused through negative forces who are very excited for that harvest.
Is it possible for you to override the negative in media and replace it with the positive?
This process has already happened, so many of the future media will be interactive through games and virtual overlay on existing experiences that people perceive. Priya has seen this in a vision where there will be a dimension of reality where people are walking around with the implant overlaying false reality onto it. So, for example, when they look up, they will see the blue sky where the sky is brown, or they will be walking on over other ill people or homeless and they will not see it. There will be a great disguise through this media. However, there is also the potential to rapidly cycle through karma in a way that was not possible. So the sleeping period is not even as bad as people believe it to be, because it will enable people to go through many lifetimes of karma in one lifetime through those multiple experiences.
Very good.
We just want to ensure that the experiences are not interfered with through the use of trauma. And this has already happened. There has been a resurgence or experience of psychedelics in the technological community in the last decade, where many in the tech community have been microdosing and using hallucinogenic instruments to rapidly expand their consciousness. This has made them more open and allowed them to understand the beginnings of understanding of the impact of what they do. However, there needs to be energetic work with them directly to influence their decision making so that they can impart more positive messages through their media. They are not conscious of what they are doing, and there must be interference on our part to support them and ensure they are not sucked into the matrix, as you might call it, themselves.
Now, are there also light codes put into the transmissions that you'll use in this media?
Yes.
Okay.
However, it will be implanted on the subconscious level through the creators. The creator group must maintain a clear channel as they are working, and they do not understand that we will be communicating with them in the beginning. However, there is a small group that is already aware. They just are waiting for physical confirmation that we exist. And for those groups that find it necessary, we will appear to them in the physical. However, this is in the future on another timeline that you will not see directly. And we don't want you to be concerned with that. We were only interested as to your suggestions in terms of sacred or secret sound and types of experiences that people may have in their sleeping state that may be beneficial. Something from your awakening may inform us of how to awaken others. If you can remember a memory that is related to awakening, you don't even have to verbalize. If you remember, we will see it and we will understand. There is a memory you have of your awakening from a sleep state that will help us signal to others when it is the time for them to awaken from their sleep state.
You mean the light switch going on in a 24-hour
Yes.
period? Yeah, that was quite the event. But I survived and it was great.
Good. So this It is not even a memory. We needed to capture the energy, the spontaneous giggle that you have in this recollection is the experience we need to impart to others. And because we are not human, we do not understand the emotion directly. We needed to record your experience
Okay.
so that we can transmit this to others through the media. And you are helpful to us. Thank you for this memory. We will take this emotional encoding and place it in future media in that timeline. And Priya Shiva will help us as well through her memory through this transmission. We are grateful that you understand. We are here to assist, even if we do not work with you in the new timeline.
I'm honored to assist. I really am. Thank you for joining us today. Is there anything else we need to know? Any other ways you're working with us currently?
No, trust that we are working on the sleeping group with patience. It is the patience that is required with this group. They are young. They need the patience and the time. That is why they are not shifting into the new reality. For you to transmit to others that do not see them come along, do not see loved ones come along, or are mourning unnecessarily this sleeping group. Please transmit to them that they are safe and that they are looked after because they are being awakened on a different timeline and they need the patience. We understand that, but humans are thinking that if others do not awaken at the same moment, they will not awaken. This is a false understanding that you can help us transmit to others moving into the new timeline.